So you scream mashed potato?
Let's be honest, it's a really weird thing to yell after a golf shot. It's become a tradition at golf tournaments. But golf wasn't always this vocal. Imagine a world of hushed respect where a single shout could get you banned. So how did we go from that extreme to mashed potato? We're going to uncover the truth behind one of the strangest traditions in sports. Who started it, what it means, and how it became a symbol of a new era in golf. And we'll reveal the one course where a single shout can get you banned for life. Imagine a golf tournament centuries ago. The wind whispers across the links, the only sound the gentle thwack of a club against a ball. The gallery, dressed in their finest clothes, stands in respectful silence. A well-struck drive might elicit a restrained golf clap. A perfectly rolled putt, perhaps a hushed well played. But shouting, cheering loudly, absolutely unthinkable. This was the era of golf's sacred silence, a tradition as old as the game itself. This wasn't just a suggestion, it was the law of the links. This culture of quiet was heavily enforced. Security teams at prestigious events like the Open Championship and the Ryder Cup were essentially the silence police, ensuring golf's reverent atmosphere remained undisturbed. They were there to protect not just the players, but the very soul of the game. But then, time, as it always does, began to erode even the most entrenched traditions. As golf's popularity grew, so did its audience. Televised golf brought the drama and excitement of the sport to millions, and with that increased exposure came a subtle, almost imperceptible shift in fan culture. The hushed reverence of the past began to crack. It's more like when your favorite band starts getting played on the radio. It's exciting, but also a little unsettling. Fans attending tournaments in person realized they had a unique opportunity. They could quite literally make their voices heard. No longer content to be passive observers, they began to experiment with ways to inject their own personalities into the event. Therefore, the seeds of change were sown. They wanted to be part of the show, not just spectators. Pinpointing the exact moment this transformation began is like trying to trace the source of a whisper. It was a gradual process, a slow evolution rather than a sudden revolution. But then, anecdotal evidence suggests it started with a simple, almost innocent desire to be noticed. Fans began to experiment with strategically timed yells, bursts of sound designed to break through the silence and grab attention. These weren't always cheers of encouragement. Often they were attempts to be funny or to stand out from the crowd. Even before the rise of mashed potato, there was one yell that was not only accepted, but expected. This one, now synonymous with golf, actually has its roots in the sport's early days. It's believed to have originated from the practice of having a forecaddy or foreman walk ahead of the players to spot where their balls landed. If a ball was heading towards another group, the forecaddy would yell to warn them to take cover. It was a practical measure, a way to prevent injuries on the course. Over time, the players themselves adopted the practice, yelling 4 right or 4 left after really bad shots. It's like the one acceptable form of noise in a library. Before mashed potato became a household name, there were whispers of other, less prominent shouts. You to Man, directed at Tiger Woods, was a common one, but these early attempts were relatively tame, isolated incidents in a sea of polite applause. The acceptance of 4 shows us that yelling in golf wasn't always taboo. It just needed to have a purpose, a justification beyond simply breaking the silence. And as golf's culture evolved, so too did the reasons for yelling. In 2010, a pivotal yet largely undocumented moment occurred. During a Tiger Woods drive at a PGA Tour event, a lone voice pierced the air with the now familiar cry of The crowd erupted in laughter. It wasn't a huge news story, but it planted a seed. It showed the comedic potential of such outbursts and hinted at the viral power these random phrases could possess. It was a prophecy, a glimpse into the future of golf fandom. And then came the moment that changed everything. It happened at the 2011 Chevron World Challenge. The masterminds we all have to thank, Andrew Widmar, Parker Page, and Andreas Adler, all former members of the Pepperdine golf team. They were huge golf fans determined to get some attention, specifically Andrew, who had discussed with his mom how she could spot him on TV. He'd hatched a plan and his friends were in on it. His idea, a phrase Andrew showed them on YouTube. His friends considered it corny, but Andrew loved it. They all knew it was ridiculous, but that was exactly the point. As Tiger prepared to tee off on the 18th hole, Widmar, Page, and Adler unleashed their mashed potato barrage. The effect was immediate. The crowd erupted. Broadcasters stumbled over their words. Even Tiger Woods looked momentarily thrown. It wasn't just the sheer randomness of the phrase, it was the audacity of it, the way it shattered the silence of the golf course. Andrew later admitted he didn't invent the phrase, but their perfect timing, combined with Tiger's iconic presence, catapulted it into virality. It was a moment that perfectly captured the changing face of the sport, a moment that proved that even the most traditional of games could embrace a little bit of absurdity. It was the mashed potato heard round the world. The mashed potato moment legitimized the random yell, transforming it from a quirky trend into a full-blown phenomenon. Suddenly, golf tournaments were no longer sanctuaries of silence. They were, well, if you ask Scooter McGavin,
well, this is golf! All right,
While some fans enjoyed the comedic chaos, others found it distracting, disrespectful, and a threat to the very fabric of the game. It's like when your favorite band starts playing a new album and everyone hates it. Some people embrace the change, others long for the familiar. Golfers like Ian Poulter became vocal critics, calling the yelling idiotic and disruptive. He wasn't alone, and while many tournaments have tried to curb the yelling, there's one place that agrees with Poulter.
Augusta National Golf Club.